Ladies and gentlemen, it's 24th of July, Sunday, and we are back with episode 6 of Things We Play. My name's Mike Goldman, and sitting opposite me, sort of opposite me, more sort of to the left, I suppose, is a man whose face looks sad, but really he's happy inside. Sean.
Yeah, I'm definitely not sitting opposite you, am I?
Well, you are if I look this way.
No.
No?
Cheryl's sitting opposite you.
Cheryl.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah, here we are. How are we? How have we been?
Yeah, good.
Yeah?
Yeah, knackered, but apart from that, all good.
It's not bad.
Yourself?
Not bad. Not
Excellent.
bad. It's been lovely weather. New television.
A very shiny new television.
Yeah. Happy days. But we'll get on to that. Let's maybe play some old weird games. You know, it's one of those things when you sort of get something new and you go, okay, I want to now like get a new sound system or whatever. You go, I'm going to go play back through something else because I want to now experience that in this way. So I'm playing shit games, but largely.
Mostly saved to your hard drive on your PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, a resurgence of PlayStation 3 gaming. But we'll get on to that. That's fine. Some stuff's happened in 2 weeks, I think. We've now got an official presence. Should we talk about that, I suppose? We've kind of... Our website's had a bit of a change since last time. It now sort of isn't a website, but our Twitter feed is I guess, what we're using. And we're up on iTunes, which makes it nice and easy, which is cool. So review us, people out there. Give us 5 stars. I'd accept 4 stars.
Yeah.
You know?
And subscribe.
But what happens
Subscribe.
if you get 3 stars?
If it gets 3 stars...
You look at you finding up people's IP addresses.
Yeah.
Going out with a buttery biscuit
You
baseball
know, like the
bat.
end of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yeah.
Yeah, just...
Turning up at people's front doors and kicking the crap out of them.
Did
What?
you write Jay and Silent Bob Suck Balls on moviepoopshoot.com? Yeah, posting as a Magnolia fan. 3 stars would be disappointing, I think.
Okay. So you'd just be crushed inside.
Yeah, I think it would do. I'd certainly, next episode we'd talk quieter.
A bit more melancholy.
It'd be less interesting. But there we go. Anyway, we've got a shit ton of games to talk about today.
Which we really shouldn't have,
we
because
played loads.
it's like summer.
And we're in the drought, but the drought has made us go back. Well, and I say that, I've certainly gone now. I've played some older games, but actually looking at the list,
It's pretty new stuff.
They're all pretty new.
Yeah.
So we've got a treat of an episode
A treat of an episode.
coming up. I don't really know where to start. Actually, let's just get the big one that we've all kind of played together out of the way first, and then we'll dive into what we've individually been going on. And that is weirdly an XBLA title. Is it the first Summer of Arcade title? It is, isn't it? Yeah, it's the first one. Of Bastion, which, I don't know about you guys, is awesome.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, totally agree.
I think the profanity needs to go now. I think I need to
It's
emphasise
It's
the
right,
point.
we've got the explicit on each.
No, I'm just saying. I need to emphasise the point.
You're using it in the right way.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, okay. It's a game it's blown me away. I mean, it's been getting obviously exceptionally high reviews, and we kind of knew that going in. But it totally lives up to all of them, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This first game is by Supergiant Games, who are a bunch of ex-EA guys that did sort of Command and Conquer stuff, and Greg Kasavin, who's one of the co-founders, who was an ex-GameSpot guy. So it's got a core team that kind of just understand stuff, and there's little annoying things that you would normally get in games that aren't in there because of it. There's things like cancelling out animations with your roll and stuff, and being able to control certain things, and the way that the whole system works is just really thought out from seemingly a gamer's perspective, and that shows. But that game is polished to hell. It's amazing.
I love the art style.
The art style's an interesting one because it looks like Braid. It's kind of got that, because it's all hand-painted stuff. It kind of has a Braid look to it. I hated the art style of Braid. I really like it in Bastion. And there's like 5 guys. The team's like 5 people. They made that game in a garage.
That's very impressive stuff.
It's mental. So when we talk about what it is, it's kind of third-person isometric
Dungeon crawler,
I guess. With a decent helping of cool sort of RPG elements in there with regards to your weapon systems and potions and whatnot.
Kind of hub-based system.
Yeah. It almost looks like a Secret of Mana sort of
Very
look,
secret-y.
you know?
Style.
all of that's well and good. But the thing that absolutely mind blowing for me is the whole game is narrated.
Yeah.
Which is such a weird concept anyway.
Which is all of the dialogue.
Yeah, and it's. Yeah, it is actually, isn't it? It's the only dialogue that's in the game is from the one perspective of this narrator, the stranger.
Yeah.
And you'd think, two things really. One, when we say the whole game is narrated, we mean the whole game is narrated. Like, there's rarely a time that lasts longer than, say, 15 seconds where you're not listening to someone talk.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get boring, or it's done cleverly.
Yeah, Are you saying earlier that you don't think you've heard him say the
I don't
same
think
thing
in my
twice?
game, for about 3 hours I into it, I don't think I've heard any repeats.
I think I've heard him repeat maybe one or two lines,
Okay.
but it's not kind of Duke Nukem repeating.
No, it's because it's clever the way it uses it. Like when you first start the game and you stand up and he goes, "Kid gets up." Yeah. It's like you get up in the game loads and loads of times, but it doesn't go every time Kid gets up. Yeah. It kind of just knows we don't say that anymore. Whereas other games would go, "Oh, he's just done that thing again. Play the sound file." And it's the minute stuff like that of Kid gets up, finds his sword, does that, and that's
very
scattered across
dynamic.
it. Yeah, and then you've got story being thrown into that as well as just generic stuff that's kind of going on. But it gives the story a real. I mean, here's the deal. When I first got into it, I thought actually, Bastion, this isn't what's everyone raving about. We'll get onto the combat system in a bit, but I kind of wasn't blown away by it. I thought the narrative was cool, but a bit gimmicky. And
to begin with, I hated the narration.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, I think I hate it, but it's grown on me. I do love it now.
I don't know. What I found with it more than anything is it's really made me care about the story.
Sure.
Like it feels it's very personal. And also that the character of the narrator is really well fleshed out. He's an awesome character. He's got a cool attitude to himself, and he's funny, and and the way it explains the story is really good. It doesn't, when you first meet the stranger and he's sort of going along, it's like no one could have survived the calamity, and then he goes and he met a stranger, and it's like stranger goes with him, and that's it. There's no sort of like 30-second or minute and a half cutscene explaining all this stuff. He just goes and he goes with him, and it's kind of you're on, and that's wicked. But it purposely doesn't tell you very much at the beginning. It's really vague. You're like, what's happened? Just the calamity has happened. You mean all of these sort of I don't know, dust people, I suppose they've been vaporized or whatever. And I still don't really know what's going on. I need to finish it desperately, but it's astonishingly good. And the combat system's amazing. I think we need to talk about the combat system because the controls initially are a bit weird. I thought because they seem to be almost on the wrong buttons.
Yeah, sure.
You've got like the B button is your melee close range.
Well, that can be switched.
Oh, can it?
Yeah,
right.
if you go to the armory, you
it's
can
still
select the layout however you want it.
It's X and B that you're using. You're not using the A button. That's what's on.
A is dive, and
that's
Y
your roll
is heal.
button. Yeah, exactly. So that's a bit funny, but the combat changes dramatically depending on the weapons you get. And you start off with a hammer, and you can just kind of hack everything down. And you have do you get a bow at the beginning? You get the repeater gun,
kind of machine gun,
which is cool. But they're all just clever in the way they're used. Like the gun, it fires really fast, but you can't move when you're using it, and it reloads really slowly. And the hammer's kind of unwieldy but strong and stuff. And then you've got the fast little sword. Yeah, exactly. You've got to. You really need to think about what ones you're going to put together in order to go in. And I mean, you were saying the level you were just doing. You just changed your loadout.
Yeah,
and now it's completely transformed.
It's not so much the weapons that I'm using have changed. It's the upgrades that I've applied to them have changed.
But even with that,
makes
you
a
upgrade in
massive
pairs, don't you?
difference.
So you pay for an upgrade and it gives you 2 each time, and then you get to pick one. And they vary quite a lot. It's like 50% damage accuracy or whatever. Or
but before with my scattered gun, I was using long range because I was like, well, range is crap on it. I'll increase the range, and I was dying a lot, and then I changed it to wider spread, and that does more damage up close. So I'm using that as my range weapon, but for close combat, and I'm using my war machete for close combat, but also has a ranged attack on it.
Okay. The other thing that you've got like perks as well. I mean, you've got like
the spirit system.
Yeah.
Which again, there's some cool stuff in there. Like I love is it the Were Whiskey one?
Yeah.
where all your attacks do like more damage, but only when you've got less than like 30%
Yeah.
health,
33%.
which is kind of really cool because then you use it. Like it's handy if you're getting mullered, but also you can use it tactically where you're like, do I want to use my potion now? You know, because I'm doing more damage and this is going to help. But if I die, I'm kind of screwed because you only get a couple of chances later to come back.
Like one continue.
Although you can upgrade that as well. So you've got that. Then you've got the way sort of the healing and your special abilities. You use the black tonics, don't you?
Yeah,
To do
right,
things. You
right
keep
trigger.
on picking those up. So you've not got an endless supply of them, but they're in pretty high abundance. It's I mean, I don't know what to say about the game apart from just go out and buy it. It's just mental. It's got challenge rooms as well, hasn't it? And little skill-based things.
Stay in and buy it.
Stay in and buy it. Yeah, don't go anywhere. In fact, if you're going down to the shop to buy it, I'm sorry. You've got a bad no, sold out everywhere. We go to the shop and get points, I suppose.
Yeah.
So it's got challenge rooms as well. It's also got like a Halo skull system with the idols, where which I didn't think was particularly well explained. It's kind of you're unlocking these new areas, and you're like, cool, a forge. I can make new weapons. Cool, I can get potions and stuff. And you get all these things, and then it's like, oh, idols. I'll just turn those on. and they do just work just like Halo skulls, and they just make it hard.
Yeah, screwed, basically. But they increase the amount of points you get per.
Yeah.
The rewards are. I think there was talk of potential multiplayer coming to it.
I did hear rumours.
Yeah, which would be cool.
It'd be interesting. Certainly.
Even something to do with the challenge rooms would be cool, or some sort of battle arena.
The battle arena would be sweet.
But yeah, Bastion, absolutely mind-blowing. Incredibly strong game for the first game.
But the one thing you haven't mentioned while we're talking is the music.
Yeah.
Oh, the music.
Mike.
I was thinking about that straight away.
So this is it, though. Let's throw music in the mix. Music is also amazing. It's got that thing of as soon as a game, normally whenever a game puts in a song with lyrics in, it has an impact anyway. Because you're like, hey, take this a bit more seriously or something. But the music's just first class across the board. In fact, we'll play one of the tracks in our break later.
Cool.
But that just goes to show you, small team, this little indie game. Every single aspect of it is polished to perfection. The voice acting, the writing, the graphics, the art and the music, and it's just the gameplay mechanics themselves. It's possibly the best downloadable game that I've bought on XBLA.
It's definitely a strong contender.
It's mental.
Yeah.
And the first game of Summer Arcade. And Summer Arcade this year is looking really strong. Really, very strong. So there's Bastion this week. Next week is From Dust.
Yeah.
Which I think we'll all be buying again.
Then after that, you've got Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet, which is again another cool game.
I don't know too much about it.
No.
I don't know. Yeah, it's getting well received. It's got an odd, sort of almost like limbo-like look to it. But we'll go into that sort of another time. And then you've got Fruit Ninja Kinect as well. Is that all of them? Is there one more?
No, isn't there a new Toy
there's another Toy Soldiers. And Toy Soldiers was a good game. It's Cold War, isn't it?
Something along those lines, yeah.
It's a really strong lineup, and Bastion's a great way of kicking it off, I suppose. I think it's coming to PC as well, but I think it's probably delayed a little bit because it's tied up with exclusivity from the summer of Arcade.
Right.
Bastion, get it. It's amazing.
Definitely.
Yeah. Kid says you should buy it. No one could survive the Calamity. I love it. I love it so much.
Issues, mate. Issues.
It's the best thing ever. Alright, so what have we been playing? Sean, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, alright, okay. I meant that in a positive way. I've not even done any New Vegas. We've spoke offline about how I tackle Fallout games. It's not necessarily the way you're supposed to.
No. I think we have spoke about online about how you tackle Fallout games.
Really?
So I think we did mention it, yeah.
It's just,
random killing everyone and
it's not that,
trying
it's
to break it.
The thing that stood out for me...
Just kill him.
We'll go over it quickly. The thing that stood out for me about the Fallout games more than anything is that you can properly loot bodies, right?
Yeah.
You're not just... It's not like you just pressing a button and it goes, there's a cream cake and a glass of wine in here or something at the Bioshock. It's like you can have their jacket, their coat,
For the most part, not always.
So I would go, when I played Fallout, the first thing I did was beeline straight to Megaton. You go into Megaton, the sheriff comes out to meet you, and I just kind of look at him and go, that's really nice hat.
You're like the T-1000 from Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Man, that's a nice motorbike.
It's like, I really quite like that hat. So instantly dead. That's it, I'm having his hat, and now I'm the sheriff. You know, and that was all I did. And then the only thing I came to Fallout a little bit late, and I'd heard that it's cool when you blow up Megaton. It looks kind of wicked. You go to the penny,
10 penny tower,
and watch it from there. So I killed the sheriff, sorted out the bomb thing, went to 10 penny tower, blew that up, went wow, this is awesome. And then immediately you watched it with like two other dudes or something. Immediately watched it and just turned around after the explosion and went, that is a really nice coat. And then just murdered everyone in 10 penny. And it was fun, and it means my Fallout experience was only about 2 hours long. But the game was broken.
The irony being, there is ways of the sheriff dying without you having to kind of...
Yeah, but I didn't want to spend... The other thing is, like, the characters in Fallout, and this is true for New Vegas as well, is the character models and stuff look so bad.
Yeah, they do.
You're often just wandering around looking so gimpy anyway, that it was really important to me that as soon as I possibly could, I got the hat and jacket that I needed.
Yeah, it takes like 30 seconds to get the sheriff killed. And then you get his hat and glasses and badge. 12 seconds.
Yeah,
fair enough.
So that's how I play Fallout. But so I've not done any New Vegas, but this is new DLC. This is amazing. New DLC has come out now. It's really, I mean, the game came out ages ago.
Yeah, it was November last year, was it?
Yeah, presumably it must have been
something around that.
So this is a late DLC pack.
It seems to have taken a little bit longer for all of the DLC to come out for New Vegas than it did for 3, I think.
Right.
By about now, 3 would have been finishing up. There's still one more piece of DLC to come out for New Vegas.
But I mean, that's cool. I mean, they're just keeping people playing it, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I guess the thing with 3 as well is there was a time frame on it because of New Vegas.
Possibly.
Do you know what I mean? So they've got to wrap it up at some point and then get on to the next one. Whereas we don't know what's going on with Fallout.
New Fallout's going to be running on Skyrim engine.
Yeah.
So obviously Skyrim's still to come out at the end of the year. So the next Fallout's probably...
Yeah, I think they're banking, aren't they, on the Fallout crowd moving over back to the Elder Scrolls, I suppose, which is fine. So what's this? Tell us about this new pack. What's the deal here?
It's so far, I'd say it is by far the best piece of DLC that's come out for New Vegas. It's more interesting than the other two. It's a larger play area than the previous two as well. Old World Blues, this one is.
Okay, so they're new areas. I kind of thought it was just kind of like new missions and stories or NPCs in the same zone, but it's kind of like bolting on areas.
Yeah, you from each piece of the DLC, Dead Money. I can't remember what the second one was. Old World Blues. You go to a point where you basically get a broadcast from whoever wants you to go off and do this mission. You go to a point and then that transports you to a new area.
Okay.
The first one is very short, very linear, but really tough, which is Dead Money. Honest Hearts, which is the second one, is a larger play area, but just not very interesting as a piece of gameplay.
Yeah, sure.
The third one is very humorous. I mean, its major downside is that there is a hell of a lot of talking at the beginning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It seemed quite short. I mean, I know you're saying it's longer.
It's kind of 6-7 hours.
Checking out your Twitter and from when you started playing it to when you were tweeting going, yeah, just wrap that up. It seemed like you got through it pretty quickly. I know you like it and you kind of hammer it, but that did seem fast.
It's about 6 or 7 hours if you do all the side questing, and basically you get a new headquarters in this one that you can use and you can store all your stuff in, called the Sink. And within that you've got a kind of food processor and a medical doctor thing and
wobbly bloke,
light switches and a little robot machine thing. And all of these things have personalities, but the tapes...
What? They talk?
Yeah. They have personalities, but the tapes that go into them are scattered all across the big mountain.
There's a food processor.
The big mountain area.
So it's like the brave little toaster.
Yeah. The toaster's psychotic and it kills other toasters and breaks them down into components for you.
Sounds like the one that Red Dwarf.
Yeah, to a degree, yeah.
Would anyone like a muffin?
that toaster's awesome.
They should have just put that in. That would have been beautiful.
And so, yeah, you can side quest and get all these cassettes to go into all of them. And then once you've got all of the cassettes that get them up and running, they then have upgrades that you can go out and collect as well.
Okay.
And that's your side questing aspect of it. The main plot is probably about 2.5 hours without side questing.
Well, I mean, that's quite nice, I suppose, to a degree, like a little extra story thing. Well, where am I supposed to be when I'm playing this? Like, am I supposed to have finished New Vegas and then do this? What happens if I'm halfway through the game? Does
From
it
what I
merge
understand,
seamlessly? Or?
It's kind of with the Dead Money and Old World Blues, it gives you a recommended level of playing. So when you start Dead Money, it says you really shouldn't do this until you're plus level 20.
Right, okay.
And when you start Old World Blues, you shouldn't really do this until you're plus level 15. But from what I understand, unlike Fallout 3 with Broken Steel, if you get a Broken Steel add-on, the game then becomes open world and you can just carry on once you've finished everything. You can just carry on, get whatever achievements you want. With this, once you do the finale of the game of Fallout, where you fight for the dam, regardless of the DLC that you've got, that's the end of the game.
Right.
It doesn't go open world.
Okay.
So these bits are added on for you to do during the game.
I just suppose, yeah, all right.
I mean, the great thing about the New Vegas expansion packs is every single one raises your level cap by 5. So with Fallout 3, your set limit at the beginning of the game is level 20. You get Broken Steel, it raises your cap by 10 and raises it to level 30. With this, you start the game, New Vegas by its Todd is level 30 cap limit, and then every piece of DLC you add raises your cap by 5. So ultimately you'll be able to be level 50. Which is good stuff.
Yeah, all right.
Because it's horrible to get new content and play it and you're not leveling up if you're playing an RPG.
It's just a walking simulator.
With shooting, yeah, you're right to a degree, but it's addictive shit, man. Once you're in
like,
it,
if you
once you're neck
walking,
deep in it,
if you like walking in barren landscapes,
then it's the game for you. It's definitely the game for you.
you know.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I always hated the most about Fallout was just that sort of was the radiation stuff. There's lots of things I hate about Fallout. I hate that you know. Not being able to carry too much stuff, you know, or it's slowing you down and things like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that
Oh, you Geiger counter.
yeah, I'm just like, oh man, that, and I also think everything looks terrible. But I'm tempted to get New Vegas.
You keep kind of coming to shop going, I'm going to buy it. It's like, why? You don't like it.
But I kind of want that experience again. I want to just go
breaking stuff.
Yeah, so just
I hate this world.
the game allows me and wants me to do that. It's
kill him.
Just like take that stuff and then just become that one with BIOS. And it needs to react more to it. Like I need to be able to do. If I could do that, and then the game sort of shapes around that. So like I've killed the sheriff, I've blown everything up, and people start to know. Then they're like, oh, he's the new sheriff. I don't know, whereas he just came out of a vault and went mental. That would be cool.
But that's a lot of programming and a lot of dynamic responding.
I'd love to. I'd love a Fallout that's narrated. I kind of want everything narrated now. I kind of just want my life narrated. You know, you poured the cereal into the bowl. Something like that. All right, so yeah, Fallout, worth it.
And yeah, it's the one you come away with the most cool shit with as well.
How much? Is it?
It's 800 Microsoft points. They're all 800 Microsoft points.
Okay.
So it's about, what, 5 quid, 5, 6 quid, something like that.
Crazy money.
Not really, no.
All right. Anything else?
About Fallout? No, it's good. I liked it.
What about anything else you've been playing? I'm done with Fallout.
Does anybody else want to talk? Cheryl been playing?
Nah, screw Cheryl. All right, fine, yeah, well, we can jump back. Cheryl.
Well, we got Captain America. We've all had a stint on that.
I haven't actually touched the controls.
You watched.
Sean would let me touch the pad.
I was concerned. You seem very angry about the corridors. I didn't want you to start killing corridors.
What do we reckon? Captain America's kind of a baffling one, isn't it? It's from one angle, it's dreadful.
Yeah.
From another angle, it's not so bad.
No.
I mean, when we looked at it, we didn't think it was particularly good at all.
No.
But then you wandered in, just barged into the conversation, and we're all like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Love it. Best game ever.
It's one of those games, if it had more time put into it, it could have been the next Batman. It genuinely could have. If they, it was just a bit more time on it, because it did seem rushed for the movie.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
But I thought it was okay. Again, you saying about the corridors, it's just annoying.
It's just that whole, and like when I look at it, and so maybe it's just me, but it's like Neo looking in the Matrix. Every environment that you're in is the same measurement. The trenches that you start in are the same width across as every corridor or every thicket that you go through in that game. You know, and it's just like, I can't bear that. It's like a little tube. There's tubes that are painted different colours. But I mean, before you say it could be the next Batman, it wants to be.
Yeah, it wants to be, but it could have been as well.
Because that was the other thing. The combat's straight out of Arkham Asylum.
Not as well done.
Yeah, for a start, I'd say it didn't ever stand a chance of being the next Batman. Batman was polished to fuck. The presentation was awesome. The voice acting, obviously, you had Kevin What's-His Face and Kevin
Conroy and Mark Hamill.
And Luke Skywalker, voicing, coming back, reprising their roles from the TV series, the animated series. It didn't ever stand a chance of being the next Batman. You didn't even know it was Chris Evans in the game.
Yeah, I wouldn't recognise. Well, I wouldn't recognise Chris Evans' voice.
For a start, he's Captain America from the get-go. He's never like Steve Rogers.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, where does this game tie into the film? Obviously, it ties in somewhere. It's running parallel.
That's an interesting thing.
Additional
movie tie-ins now aren't movie tie-ins at all. They've really steered clear from doing the movie thing.
A lot of them are the story building up to, or the story just following after. I don't know where Captain America slots in. I haven't seen Captain America.
Yeah, no, but so you're already Captain America at the very beginning. The battle system, the fighting system is like Batman. It's sort of rhythm based, all counters and stuff like that. But it has some nice bits in it. Like the shield stuff's pretty cool. Because you've got that weird sort of bullet thing. When someone's shooting at you, you get a mark on the screen, don't you? And if you time the button press right, whichever button it is, you can deflect that bullet, and then you can, most of the time.
It's more than a deflection. It is a direct counter. He swings his arm wide to hit the bullet in as it's in motion, and he deflects it square back.
But you can do it from any angle and wherever you are. So you can be in the middle of a fight, and then you're watching this thing, and top corner of the screen where it's showing you, and then you just hit the button, and mid-fight he'll just say "Ding!" deflect a bullet, and that's cool. That is genuinely.
There's certain moments when you're playing it, and it works and everything happens right, and you look like a badass. Especially with the bullet deflection in the middle of a fight, it just looks sweet. So you'll flip over someone, deflect a bullet, counter the next guy, and then hit with a critical strike on the third guy, and it makes you look very badass. But the frame rate is atrocious.
Getting into that sort of area where this game ain't so great. It's the frame rate is one of those things that's pretty bad. It does a reasonable job when you're inside at just keeping
small environments.
But when you go outside, it's like, what happened there?
And there's also just a stupid amount of collectibles.
And stupid collectibles anyway.
A Fabergé egg. It's like, why are you picking
It's not a Fabergé egg, it's porcelain egg.
Either way, it doesn't matter, does it? I don't care if it's a real egg. Either way, you shouldn't be picking it up.
At what point is Captain America going around going, an egg? Another egg.
It's like he's a scouser. He's just picking something shiny. I'm going, that's mine.
Dossiers and eggs, and that's mind-blowingly stupid. And they're just in weird places. Like someone's going around.
They're not particularly hidden. No. They're just kind of scattered around.
But this one bit, you're just like you're in an alleyway and there's just an egg, or you're in the attic in the rafters of a building. It's like, I'll just put this egg here.
It's like the dossiers as well. It's just like, they're in this library's bookshelf.
And so many of them. So many of them. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's insane.
But what do you think of the acrobatic crap?
The timed acrobatic. So pseudo quick time events.
Quick time events.
They're not quick time.
No, you can't fail.
They're not quick time. They are rhythm based. Yeah. So the goal is to do a series of leaps, getting perfect timed every time.
Yeah.
But
what that does for you, I have no idea.
No, there is one reason for it. If someone's shooting you, if you do it perfectly, then they don't hit you. But that's literally it. If you've got no one shooting you, then it's pointless.
Yeah, and when there's instances where there is no one around as well, just do it. And it's kind of like if you press the button at the right times, this bit will look okay. And if you don't, it will look shit. And that's kind of it. It's like that's my penalty. It's like I can have this bit looked at, and it's weird. It's like, why don't just give me that level of freedom? I thought the HUD stuff was really strange as well. The sort of almost Assassin's Creedy like.
It's sort of geometric, sort of trigonometrical, trigonometric outlines. They glow up on to kind of run up this ramp and jump, and and it's sort of glowy in algebra and stuff. Yeah, very strange.
Weird game. But
I kind of want to like it.
Yeah,
I just don't.
Yeah, I'm not.
And it's got a crazy learning curve. It's like, you sail through the entire game and then you come to Lady Hydra and it's just like, what the hell? I'm fighting 50 guys while deflecting her. And you was kind of moaning that, you have the troops with the, I don't know if they've got flintlock pistols or rifles or what. They kind of shoot once every 25 seconds.
So that is the thing. You'll get mocked. Because what I did quite like about it is it throws a lot of enemies at you.
Yeah,
it's got the best intentions to do the Batman thing again, where it's like 20 enemies will come at you at once, but they just sort of dance around you, individually taking one shot at a time. Like their orders have been, okay, one person fire, only one person at any time, and that's it. And it's like, your turn now, Simon. You, Brian, next, and then Tony, you can go last. And it's just like, it's weird, and you just sat there, if you're just blocking it all, nothing will happen.
Nothing. They just stand there watching you, going,
It's just baffling. It's like, if just two of you shoot at once, I'm dead. Figure it out.
Yeah, but you get to Lady Hydra and she's got 2 pistols, which are suddenly Tech 9s. and so you've got to like deflect a torrent of bullets to like defeat her whilst fighting 20 guys. And up to this point, no one has prepared you for this battle because everybody else is systematically taking turns firing shots.
There's also that bit in the game where it just goes, okay, you fought loads of guys, next room, right, fight a load of guys, next room, fight a load of guys, but this time you're going to fight a load of guys in smoke. And the whole room comes to smoke, and you're like, is this killing me? Do I need to get out of there? Am I supposed to take out an air vent?
Only if the smoke is green, it doesn't kill you.
And it's just like,
the rest of the time it's
just fighting in the dark. It's exactly the same thing on fighting in the dark. Why? Why is that? It's just, I don't know, some baffling things in that game.
Yeah.
But personally, I think it's a renter, if anything. I think you should always give it a go. I mean, like I said, I had a busy week, so I was playing it an hour every night. But I wanted to carry on.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I genuinely want to finish it.
There's a lot to be said for games that they're not terrible, but not great.
Just enjoyable enough where you can just phase out and just play
just
it.
Bubblegum games, like a Transporter movie.
Yes, exactly. Or Fast and Furious, where you're just like, I don't have to use any intelligence to enjoy this.
I will say, Tokyo Drift is one of the finest films.
Oh, don't talk about
Give it a rest.
All right, we'll put it out there, but that's fine.
Next.
All right. So what else have we looked at? We've done so. What we can talk about is you guys did some. Well, you've done it before in the past, but you did a
bit of research.
You went and got a Japanese account, didn't you?
No, American.
I keep saying Japanese.
Yeah, you
it's
did.
because we're talking about very Japanese games. Now, we've all seen these games. I saw them months and months and months ago. I just saw them.
Right. Through magic mirror.
Through magic. Prior to them being available to the public.
Sure.
But you, through your American account, have managed to try out demos of El Shaddai.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ascension of the Metatron.
Yes.
And Catherine.
And Trenched.
But we'll come to Trenched in a little bit, because these ones are... They sort of go together in the fact that they did weird as shit Japanese games. Yeah. Tell us a bit about those. We've all kind of had a look at these, haven't we?
I mean, El Shaddai's, I don't know what to make of it. As elements of it I really love. The kind of surreal art style, the abstract kind of colour backgrounds, the things are just massive blocks of colour.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it's basically a Devil May Cry like game, isn't it? Or that sort of
pushing
style.
it, pushing it a bit. The combat's not.
Well, it's not. But it's that style of it's
third person, run around,
button
slashy
mashy,
stuff,
combo stuff. But it's got that totally weird art style. It's just it's insane.
It reminds me a lot of a PS2 game. I can't remember what PS2 game. There's one that's in mind, the kind of armor style and the weapons and stuff, but I can't put my finger on what it is.
Okay.
But at the same time, I do like the kind of abstract
It's different. It's different. It looks like I think if it was an XBLA title, it would be much better accepted. It is coming over here, isn't it?
Is it?
It's in our new release book.
I was going to say, I thought it must be. I wonder if it's out in the States. It generally means it's going to come this way as well.
I must say, I prefer the 2D elements to it.
Oh, so that's the other thing, isn't it? It's got this weird sort of 2D
from
platform
3D to
bits.
2D, and you kind of got these weird big rolling waves that are very kind of Japanese.
It's that classic
painted art style, at which you just kind of run along on top of, and you kind of jump around and float, and levels go up and down. And
I mean, it's a fever dream,
right? Yeah, pretty much.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But interesting. So the other one that's sort of coming along there with kind of Grim is Catherine, which is a very odd game.
Catherine is bizarre as hell.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's quite a lot. There's quite a lot to Catherine.
It's a puzzle game, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of delivered in a pseudo anime style. I mean, the voice acting is pretty much anime. The cutscenes initially start with kind of like 10 seconds at the beginning of each cutscene in Japanimation, which then cut to in-game graphics, which are cel-shaded and look very anime. The kind of plot is that people are mysteriously dying in their sleep, Freddy Krueger style.
Oh, right, okay. Because isn't it? It's kind of that, but also aren't you just some lonely dude that wants to get a girlfriend?
No, he's got a girlfriend. His girlfriend's name is Catherine.
So what's the deal then? There's two Catherines, right? There's Catherine with a C and there's Catherine with a K.
Yeah, but any of that isn't delivered. It's a demo at the end.
Right.
So that kind of level of detail isn't in the demo. The Catherine with the C, I think, is going around killing people in their sleep, basically, and she kills men that cheat on their girlfriends. And so you're having a reoccurring dream where you're standing around in your underpants, you've got ram's horns on your head, and you carry a pillow for some god unknown reason. And the whole point is that you've got to get from the bottom of this staircase to the top, which is the exit where you wake up from your dream. And
isn't there like a giant tongue thing or something?
I don't know. I didn't see any giant tongues. And the way you get to the top is by pulling bricks out and shifting them along to make staircases, whilst collecting bits on the way. But the second half of the game is spent in a place called there's a lot of sheep references in it, and it's called
it's because it's a sleepy thing, isn't it?
I guess,
yeah.
maybe.
I think more than the sexual thing.
The stray sheep, I think. Right. Okay. I think the pizza place is called Stray Sheep.
Yeah.
Which you spend time in there with your mates, and then once they
it's in a pub, isn't it?
It's a pizza bar / bar. Pizza parlour / bar. So you spend time in there, and then once they go, you kind of text back and forth to your girlfriend. So Catherine with a K maybe sends you text messages. And you can respond, but you don't have to respond with the initial option. You can delete what you're saying and put in a new option. And that causes your moral slider to go up and down.
Okay.
For what purpose, I'm not entirely sure. Apparently, the world reacts once you do these sorts of things.
I mean, it's not a game for me.
No, I don't think I'll be running out and buying it.
But
really?
I might. It's a game I'd consider buying at $7.99 maybe, just to kind of get the experience from it.
I suppose.
You don't seem convinced.
Obviously, there's the special ed.
The pre-order stuff's quite cool. It comes in a pizza box.
Pizza box and comes with underwear.
Yeah, you get his boxes and you get a pillowcase.
Yeah.
Shame you don't get a whole pillow.
Yeah.
But you do get a pillowcase that I think just has like Japanese anime
And obviously,
breasted ladies on it as well.
Right.
Now it's coming out in the UK, definitely.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
It's
I'll buy it because it looks interesting enough for me to buy.
You do buy crazy Japanese games.
I like
don't
them.
you?
They're intriguing. They're not Call of
Didn't you
Duty.
buy Deadly Phenomenon as well?
Deadly Premonition. Well, we'll talk about that another day because that is a great game.
Yeah.
And also a terrible one. But you don't get these games elsewhere. If you want a different experience, this is something you're not going to find from your traditional retail release or something that comes from the Western sort of market. So those, ones to, I'm sure people will see them and ones to look out for. But certainly the animation in Catherine looks really nice.
It does, yeah.
It's really misleading if you watch trailers and stuff. You're like, well, what is this game? I don't know what it is. And to then discover that it's basically this block
Weird
pushing
puzzle game,
climbing mountain thing. is maybe going to surprise a few people.
Yeah,
but
certainly.
It's cool. So the other thing that going on from that, you mentioned earlier, Trenched. You played Trenched. Mentioned like that. Trenched. Just to bring people up to speed, it's an XBLA game that should have come out already by now.
Yes.
It's been out in the States for a little while. Sadly, it's been stalled on coming out in Europe by one man who owns the copyright to the name Trench.
Who we should kick.
He's a Portuguese gentleman. I don't remember his name was, but he has a board game that he's done called Trench, and he owns the derivative names of Trench, Trenching, Trencher, Trenchy. So he's not. It looks like they've got to rename it if they bring it out here. He sadly owns the rights for electronic video game
version of a game that doesn't actually exist.
So
cheers.
So that's a shame because Trench looks awesome, but you've actually had a go on it.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It's Double Fine.
Yeah, it's Double Fine.
It's Tim Schafer's thing. It's their latest thing, and it's kind of tower defense.
See, the problem is I've never played tower defense. I've not played South Park tower defense, not played tower defense.
Okay.
Well, to be honest, it's a 3D tower one instead. Like the South Park one's 2D.
Yeah, but I suppose Monday Night Combat is a similar experience.
Didn't play Monday Night Combat.
Right, okay. But you've got. So what I'm saying is you've got that sort of strategic element. You're placing sort of encampments down to take out enemies, but also in this sort of new thing that tower defense has turned into in the last couple of years, you also get to physically take part in that. And
it's kind of. I can see the evolution from Brutal Legends, kind of.
Yeah, I mean that's it, isn't it? You can see because Brutal Legends should have been great.
Yeah, when it's some weird kind of strategy element to it. It was very bizarre. So you're kind of running around in this big mech thing, and that can be upgraded and changed, and new guns are unlocked at the end of each level. When you're taking out the enemy, you collect scrap, which then can be turned into static turrets. So you kind of start off with shotgun turrets, and when you get enough scrap, you can then upgrade those turrets to be stronger and do more damage. And initially, when you're playing the demo, it forces you to put them in certain places, but then it's kind of like you can dump them anywhere, and they drop in from the sky, sort of like a weapons drop.
So is it literally tower defense stuff where you're setting out your basements and then a wave will come?
Yeah.
And do you have unlimited time for you to set that up before you initiate the wave coming?
No, I think it is.
Okay.
Whatever, it's kind of like 2 or 3. Not even that. It's probably about 40 seconds.
Yeah.
In between.
But then also you're on the battlefield yourself in your mech, taking them down as well.
But it's not like it switches to a different perspective when you're putting it in your turrets. It's you as you're in your mech, you can point, say, drop it there, and
but you're not just building;
playing.
you're also firing as well.
Yeah.
All right, it's quite funny. It looks like it's got quite a cool.
What I like about it in particular is cyberpunk.
Don't you start off your base is a big battleship in the sea. But it's got legs, man. I love that. I don't think you see it in the beginning, but it's so it just looks like a ship, like a battleship. But it's walking along the sea,
Right.
which is just
that.
brilliant. Awesome design.
But that's kind of standard Tim Schafer weirdness.
Yeah, I mean, since Double Fine decided to not do big games anymore and to just kind of do XBLA stuff, they've pumped out some awesome.
I mean, I didn't play Stacking. I had it. And Danny played it. My girlfriend played it a lot, and she was addicted to it for quite a few days.
I think it was the least favourite of what they've.
But I did play Costume Quest and Grumbles on Ice. I got as well, which I still haven't actually played.
Good game.
But yeah, Costume Quest I loved. Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
They've done cool stuff, and I tell you what, they banged them out quick.
Yeah.
You know what, we've had 3 games now in the space that we wouldn't have even had one if they were doing it normally. So awesome guys. It's good that they're doing that, and obviously we've got Once Upon a Monster coming. Sesame Street.
Oh, is that Double Fine as well?
Yeah,
okay,
interesting. Which is kind of cool. Because they just sat down one day and I think Tim Schafer just said to the team, look, go off, come up with some game ideas, we'll come back, we'll have a look at them. People came back, then they chose from that, they went to do it, and then they just broke into little teams and just started making it. So just a really, really nice thing, and then it seems to be doing really well for them.
Yeah, but we want Trenched. Whatever it's going to be called, we want it. I'm pretty psyched for it.
It's a chance. You're shaking your head, Cheryl.
I don't think she's very interested in it.
You didn't like it?
I played it, it's just boring.
Well,
it's one of those things, I think it's a game where in multiplayer it's awesome. But I think on your Todd, it's just...
Well, I think that's it. I mean, multiplayer is a key part of it.
It's like horde mode. If you play it on your own on Gears, it's just boring. There's just nothing that keeps you there for a long period of time.
All right. So that's okay. But we'll play it with you.
Don't want to play with you.
All right.
You die.
She wants
Fair enough. All right. We'll take it. We'll take a break in a moment, but before we do, just go on to one more, because we've been talking about XBLA. There's one more XBLA title that I've been playing, which is Splosion Man. In fact, you played the beta as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Which I just want to mention, just because I hated, so just a starting point, I hated Splosion Man.
Yeah, I didn't
really hated Splosion Man. I didn't like it at all. It had too much of a almost sort of like Sonic the Hedgehog vibe, I suppose, with you sort of speed running through levels, and it was that very almost classic platforming stuff.
It didn't. Yeah, I mean, its look and style didn't.
I didn't like its look and style either. But since that time, Twisted Pixel have grown on me. They did some really cool stuff with Splosion Man in terms of like. They're now almost famous for their sort of comedy FMV that they make. And Miss Splosion Man continues that. And all of the cool stuff they made for Splosion Man is in there as an unlockable, and there's loads of new stuff. But the game itself is wicked. I mean, it gets props from me just for being called Miss Splosion Man. I love the fact that they've done that whole thing. Genius. And it is in true fashion, like as Miss Pac-Man was. It's the bastard hardcore version of Splosion Man, And it is a game that will have you tearing your hair out as you die again and 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 again.
You die a lot on it, don't you?
Yeah. But it's cool. And yeah, okay, the style, I still kind of hate it, but I quite like Miss Splosion Man as a character. She's much better. She never shuts up. She's like constantly running through the whole level, spouting little like 90s girl power quotes.
Right.
And I've never seen so many idle animations. Like when you just stop, maybe she's just always dancing or flicking her wrists around, or she talks on the phone, does something. Just loads of them constantly. So that's kind of nicely presented, and it's. I suppose what this is almost the Super Mario world to the Mario Brothers that was Splosion Man. I mean, it's now you get that map screen as you did in like Super Mario World, and you're going along sort of picking your levels as you choose. The boss fights are awesome. They're really cool.
I did one boss fight in the demo.
Yeah,
where you kind of
it's like the robot.
Yeah, bounce off the wall onto the.
Yeah, they're nice. The scale's really good. They've got a nice sense of, and it's got some just awesome Total Recall references, which is because what I love about it as well. It's got all the characters speak like Simlish. Actually, that's kind of weird because all the scientists in the game speak in a sort of Simlish type, Sims type manner. Right. They're also like, and it's not real words. Apart from Miss Splosion Man, who's sat there going, if you like it, put a ring on it and stuff. It's like, well, fair enough. But it's got these awesome Total Recall references. There's one level, I think the second level starts where she comes out and you're this old fat lady, and the scientists are there and they're like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden the head comes apart in stages and lifts off, and it's Miss Splosion Man, and it goes back together, and then she just chucks it at them and they catch it, and it does the whole Total Recall thing, but it's the way it executes. It just goes surprise, and it's just like it's the funniest thing ever. So it gets extra credit for that. It's a good game. I've played it more than I thought I was going to. It's got multiplayer, and that's what you played, isn't it? What's the multiplayer like? I mean, is it just co-op through the single player, or is it something else? I've not looked at it.
I only did co-op on there, but I think there is like a team deathmatch kind of thing.
Okay.
But like I said, I didn't play that. I only played co-op with a few people.
Yeah.
Which was, it was good fun, but it put me off the game. I just couldn't be bothered to spend Microsoft points on it.
Yeah, I mean,
I've got the original, so it's just like I don't really want the same thing with a couple of extra funny bits. So it's like, nah.
Oh, well, it's I've enjoyed it. I think it's weird as well. It's not in Summer of Arcade. I suppose that's probably because it is a sequel, maybe. But although Toy Soldiers
is,
but it's come out the week before. It's kind of the one that starts. Just loads of downloadable games that are really strong. So.
Yeah, I mean, from the demo, I didn't mind it. It kind of reminds me of Trials HD, and
it's got that vibe of trying to end it, and it is about
the Doritos Crash Course.
You get times doing. There is a par for every level that you have to try and come in under, and you get extra rewards for doing things quickly. So there is that sort of element to it. And it's all right.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. I may never play it again, but I've put enough into it, to have my money's worth. All right, well, on that note, we have to take a little break, regroup, rethink, rehug.
Let's hope not.
And then we'll be back. We're going to play you an awesome track from Bastion now, and we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Dig my hole, you build a wall. I dig my hole, you build a wall. One day that wall is gonna fall. Gonna build that city on a hill. That city on a hill. Someday those tears are gonna spill. So build that wall and build it strong, 'cause we'll be there for too long. Gonna build that wall up to the sky.
Welcome back. That was, who was it?
It's Ashley Barrett.
Ashley Barrett.
Bennett.
Barrett.
We got Barrett as well.
Ashley Lynn and Co. I think.
Yeah,
the actual
on
group.
MySpace.
Yeah.
You tweeted it, I think.
Yeah, I did
You
tweet it.
put it out there. But it's a great track from
It's
Bastion
awesome.
and a moving part of the game. I
Yeah,
think.
very.
So yeah, cool. All right, well, let's just talk about some more games. Cheryl, we're going to throw it over to you because you've been getting fit. You're not unfit anyway.
No.
You know, I think out of the three of us, you're the one that could run.
Vast distances.
Well, or just run. But you've been playing UFC. Is it just UFC Trainer? Or?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Obviously, it's a Kinect title. Selling stupidly well, but just not enough copies around, which is a shame. They did a good ad campaign, which really made people go, "I want that."
Yeah.
And it's pretty much the Wii Fit for the butch guy, really.
Well, it's UFC. That's
Yeah.
the thing, isn't it? It's not like sit-ups and stomach crunches, or maybe it is.
Yeah,
But
a little bit.
UFC, that's punching people in the face and breaking noses.
Yeah, obviously with UFC, you can't just grab a partner, like a co-op partner, and beat the shit out of them, which would be quite cool, but you can't do that. It is mainly just doing the UFC training. So you do your punching mitts, you do, like you said, sit-ups and all that kind of stuff. It's really well put together. Okay. The beginning of it is just a guy talking to obviously the main trainer, and he's just saying, this is what you need. You need to commit if you want to get anything out of it. Goes through you with stretches, just make sure you don't hurt yourself. And he's very concerned about your well-being. Okay. At the beginning, it's like, just don't hurt yourself, for fuck's sake.
we don't want the lawsuit.
We can't afford for you to hurt yourself.
At the beginning, it just tries to get an overall view of how fit you actually are.
Right.
Which, I'm not that fit, but I'm fit enough to do the UFC trainer, which I actually scaled down at the beginning, because I've heard a lot of bad stories where if you're quite impressive at the beginning, if you can do so many sit-ups in a certain time, it puts you at an expert level and then beats the shit out of you. It's going, right, if you're that cocky, I'm just going to put you through hell.
Okay, all right.
So I went on to intermediate. It's just like sit-ups in a certain amount of time. It's got a really good system where it says you've got to do 30 sit-ups in a minute and a half, whatever. If you do it before the end of the time, it says go on, do a few more. And it won't push you where you're going to just hurt yourself. It will just give you like 20%, just say do 20% more, and then it will cut.
Yeah.
And then it rates you on it is, and then it obviously, like the Wii Fit, it keeps track of it all. If you do the same thing in a row, it says whether you've done better or worse.
Okay, so you like sign up for like a program, I suppose, and it's like
It's a little bit like that. You have got options of just doing the mini games where you can just go, I fancy doing sit-ups, I fancy punching things. Gives you that. Or you have got 30 or 60-day programs which work on endurance, strength. I can't think of the other one. Oh yeah, either way. Oh. Yeah. But it has 3 different options. You can do 30-day, 60-day. And it's brutal.
But you think this is going to help you? You think this is going to?
There's been stories like over the internet where people have gone, man, I've lost half a stone.
Yeah.
Like without even trying, and they feel fitter, and so on. Like I said, the way they do it, they don't try and push you so hard. If you don't fancy a certain thing, if you've gone, I've done enough sit-ups for today, you just skip it, and they'll give you something different.
Okay.
And it's very varied all the way through it.
It sounds like you need a lot of space. That's the only thing. I mean,
I haven't got a massive amount of space, but it's been all right because it's quite a small circle that you need to be in, and obviously there's a lot of laying on the floor, doing things like that. It's just going right now, lay down. It's like, oh, I quite like that. Now do sit-ups. It's like, oh, otherwise I will rest. But no, I started my 30-day training program yesterday.
Okay.
I woke up purposely an hour early this morning.
Because it's an hour, isn't it? It's an hour.
It's pretty much an hour. I got it down to 50 minutes this morning.
Okay.
I shot for it a bit more because now I know what I'm doing and know what they want. You can shoot through it. But yeah, I got up an hour early, done it, then went and played football, and it felt good. You feel like you've accomplished something at the end of it. You do burn.
Yeah.
But it makes you stretch at the end. It makes sure you're not just going to be the next day go, fucking, I'm knackered. I can't be bothered.
It sounds quite good, to be honest. It's got achievements. I'm sure it's got achievements in it.
Yeah.
Like, what are they like?
There's a lot of them where it's just do things perfectly. Because the problem is the Kinect sensor is a bit brutal with it. If you move your shoulder that little bit wrong to what you're supposed to, it will just go, meh. And then you failed it.
But I suppose technically that's probably quite important, isn't it? That you do these exercises right, so again you don't hurt yourself. But
it still seems a little bit harsh.
Okay.
Because when you start getting tired, if you're like, because it gives you an option of using weights if you want, or resistant bands, and it changes it. If you say I want it with that, they'll make sure it's right.
And does it come with anything? It's not like no vitality sensor or weights or wristbands or anything.
The PS3 Move version does have resistant bands with it.
Okay.
But luckily, I do have some stuff at home.
Do you wear like sweatbands and leg warmers?
No.
Like Fame.
No. There's not a lot of dancing involved for me to do that.
But you gotta
look the part.
Yeah. No, I haven't done that. But at the end of my first session, I was sweating buckets. And like I said, I play football, I train twice a week, I'm relatively fit.
Yeah.
But at the end of that, I was like, oh my God, I'll do it again tomorrow. But I did it.
So at the end of this 30-day program that you're going to do, which we're going to track, by the way, 2-week increments.
It should be good.
We'll bring out tape measures and things. No. But at the end of that 30-day period, so you're going into the UFC?
No.
No? All right,
no, because you've seen how I punch, and it doesn't end well.
I've clearly misread the situation.
But I'm on the endurance one, just because I want to just get fit in general. Like I said, if you commit to it, I think it will work wonders. It's like the Wii Fit, where people just buy it and do it once every so often, and it doesn't work.
It's a huge success, and people loved it.
Yeah, exactly.
This is good. I like it. I like the idea of using this tech for something else, and people. We all want to keep fit to some degree, and I'd give that a go. I mean, like I said, it requires like the smallest amount of equipment. You don't have to buy a bloody board. Obviously, you need a Kinect, but I don't know. It is so good at what it does. Is there any multiplayer stuff in it, or any online stuff? There is challenges. Like people set challenges for you, and you've got to try and beat them. Okay. I do believe there is like
opposite stuff.
A little bit, yeah. There's also bits where I think you both do a training mini game together, and then you've just got to try and beat each other, which is just extra sort of drives you forward. All right. That sounds
relatively interesting.
Pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. It's not something that because it's one of those games that I'd look at on the shelf. Yeah. See this Kinect title as well, and that's a UFC game. It's like, that's I'm not expecting much from that. No, but like I said, for what it does it really well. Yeah. And like I said, it's made me
really want to stick at it as well.
And sweat.
And sweat quite a bit.
So, yeah.
But then again, I did have a cigarette straight after my first workout, which was a little bit bad. I was like, oh, I'm going to sit down, watch a movie, have a cigarette.
It's just like half time in football.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Have a quick orange as well.
All right. Well, all right. And another game then that we spoke. A game that I've played. I've still going back through my pile of shame of games that I've missed, and picked up a couple in the last 2 weeks. Being Singularity was one of them, and Metro 2033. Just to get out of the way quickly now, Metro 2033 didn't like at all.
No.
Thought it looked quite nice, but I didn't really play very much of it. And the system, it's got a strange system where your ammo is also your currency in the game. Just played and felt like a very Eastern European game, if that makes any sense. I'm intrigued for the sequel, but first one didn't get me. But anyway, the other game that came out at a similar time as well is Singularity, which was Raven did it,
published by Activision.
Wolfenstein fame, I suppose. And kind of looked like a Raven game, you know, everything was kind of a greeny, grey, browny, sort of dark colour. And I really liked it. I finished it, ploughed through it and finished it quite quickly, I suppose.
From what I heard, a lot of people were saying kind of roughly 4-hour mark. If you
I think it was a bit more than that. But yeah, it was certainly sort of the lower end of your stands of. I mean, they're not very long anyway, are they?
No,
but
these days.
But it started off really strong. I mean, the problem I had with it, so by the end of the game, I didn't really like it. But at the beginning, I really liked it.
Yeah, you said.
So at the very beginning, it's just a first-person shooter. That's it. You haven't got any of the sort of time mechanics. So it's all based around the fact that you've got this device on your arm that can phase time. And the game primarily takes place between two different times. So it's in present day and the 50s, basically. And you can phase objects between those times. So there's a lot of puzzle solving in it. There's a lot of, this staircase is broken, so I can zap it with a special, device, and it will make the staircase brand new again, as though it was in the 50s.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Which is quite cool. But at the beginning, you don't have any of that. You just FPS. And it's like, yeah, okay, these guys know how to do that. It kind of works. Then they give you this device, and then you start playing with time. And it's like, yeah, okay, it's quite cool. It's got some cool visual effects where you'll walk into a room, and all of a sudden it'll be, dilapidated and ruined. And all of a sudden it will flash white, and you'll see stuff sort of rebuild around you and go back to brand new. And there's some nice effects in that. And you can also zap enemies with your time manipulation thing, and they sort of phase away into dust, or you can sort of regress them into mutants and things. And that was all very well and good, and it was going fine with both of that. So this is all right. I've got enough. That's already enough for me to think about. In standard FPS controls, and we've got looking down the sights, and I've got grenades and all the other bits that you would expect, and melee and whatever. Then all of a sudden I've got this time thing. Okay, you're adding a little bit more, and giving it a little bit of a twist. All right, I get that. Then it adds. It just adds more to it. It adds like a gravity gun element to it, where I can now pick up objects and move them around like I can in Portal or Half-Life. And it's like, no, it's a little bit much. And then I've got your melee attack turns into like a pulse weapon where you can blast people. And it's like, I've got so many options of things I can do that I'm now
confused as to what to do to kill people.
I mean, there's a moment's hesitation before every encounter and every situation I'm in.
Punching him, shooting him, phasing him.
And it just overloaded it. Nothing was particularly bad, but it just kind of overloaded it. And it was all right. You never really see any nice environments. You're all sort of indoors in an industrial sort of place, and not particularly great.
Bit greeny, grey, browny.
Exactly. A bit Raven.
I mean, at the time of it coming out, it did intrigue me. We pretty much didn't get any copies of release.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd always heard it was good. I always heard it was sort of like an unsung hero sort of thing. Like no one really picked it up, but it was worth picking up. So
sure.
And it seemed alright. The ending's kind of strange, where you make a choice at the end between good or bad, or at least it leads you to believe that you're making a choice between good or bad. It's basically, actually, we can't spoil it. It's old enough now, I think. But the bad guy and the good guy that's been helping you throughout the whole thing are there. You actually find out as well that you've been receiving messages throughout the whole game going, "Don't trust that woman," or "Go through here," or whatever. And you find out that it's been you all along, going back through time over and over again. But at the very end, you've got to either kill the bad guy or the good guy. One's like, kill the good guy, and the bad guy's like, yeah, come rule the world with me, and the good guy's like, no, don't do that, he's a madman, kill him, Russia's going to blow up the US or whatever. And so you kill the bad guy, and it's like, yeah, I killed the bad guy. And then it gave me the option to kill the good guy as well. And I was like,
hold on.
It's a nice hat. And so I killed him as well, and it actually turns out, and I thought, brilliant, that's a cool choice, you know, you're making me think I've got a choice of one of the two, but actually there's a third choice, which is no one gets the stuff. So I did that, but then I later thought, well, I'll reload it. After the credits roll, I'll come back and try that the other way, and it conveniently allows you to. It was the other thing that surprised me. The save point that it generates after that is right before that point, so you can try another option. Yeah. There isn't another option. There is the one option. You kill, so I was like, well, I'm going to kill the bad guy. If I don't kill the bad guy, he kills me for a start, And then if you just get one, I thought, sorry, I'll just kill the good guy then. And I killed the good guy and they went, no, you failed. The good guy's died. And it's like, right, so I need to kill the bad guy and then the good guy, and that's it. That's the end of the game. Why give me that choice?
Yeah.
Don't make me do it. Real shame, especially as well with the way it invites you to do it again. It's like, hey, come here. Do you want to look behind the curtain? It's like, and you look behind the curtain, there's just a steaming pile of dog shit. And it's like, that's not what I wanted. So Singularity, it's worth a play. It's not going to take too long to do.
And any groundbreaking stuff that it would have done, it doesn't actually do. It's all right. And another game, actually, just to briefly mention, I'm going through Bioshock 2. I hated Bioshock. I picked up Bioshock 2 because it was cheap. Not expecting it to be great. It's all right. I'm enjoying it. It's not terrible. I hate Rapture. That's my problem with Bioshock. But the interesting thing that we were talking about, Cheryl, was the DLC Minerva's Den is apparently very, very, very good. And so I'll probably check that out. I'm a bit shocked it's still 800 Microsoft points. I thought maybe it would come down. It'll probably be in a sale at some point, or probably has been in a sale and you've just missed it.
Yeah, maybe.
I really didn't like Bioshock 2. I loved Bioshock 1. I thought it was awesome, and then I played 2 and it's half the game. Literally in length.
Yeah, well, it's an odd sequel anyway.
Because it's different companies,
it's different team, and it seems like Ken Levine is obviously the guy that's responsible for Bioshock, and is obviously now working on Infinity. It seems like you get the impression we didn't want you to do 2. Why you might have made a sequel to this game? We didn't want you to do that, and it's got multiplayer in it, and it's
it seems like they sacrificed half of the single player to put in the multiplayer.
I mean, it might be that. When I say I'm enjoying it, you do actually. Yeah, come on, tell us about multiplayer.
I played it a hell of a lot, and it's just standard team deathmatch, but you've got your plasmas as well, which you can mix up. It's all right. There's nothing to have a go about it. If it was an Xbox Live title on its own, like if it was an arcade title, it would be awesome, and it would.
I think it was because people loved. I mean, as much as I didn't like Bioshock 1, which I actually think I probably would like it now. I just turned off about it at the time. The fact that I'm enjoying 2 probably means that I'm more susceptible to it. But I think the problem was people loved Bioshock 1. As I'm sure you did, Sean. And I just think most people thought that's not a space they wanted multiplayer. It was considered a very rich and
it's
well realised narrative.
It's story driven.
It felt shoehorned, the multiplayer.
It didn't even feel because I didn't touch the multiplayer at all. It's not what I was going to Bioshock for.
But it wasn't a multiplayer in the first one.
No. But on 2,
All right, okay.
It's not what I went to Bioshock for. It's not what I was trying to scratch. I was trying to itch. You know what I'm saying? I wanted more Bioshock. And I got half of what 1 delivered.
Apparently,
it felt like there was a lot of wasted opportunities in Bioshock 2.
Okay. I mean, it was quick turnaround. I suppose there wasn't a lot that was explored. It just was a bit of a cash in. That's why the Minerva's Den is supposed to be very good, because it was, But from what I understand, that is supposed to be very good. And I might go back to Bioshock 2 just to play the downloadable content. It's quite short, isn't it, Bioshock 2?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I played for a couple of hours, but I might go through it to the end anyway.
I think it's about 5 hours.
Really?
Max.
Maybe I'll give it a go. All right, that's cool. Well, there you go. Just to let you know, let's there's a bit of news that we should probably cover as well. Actually, we're not gonna cover news in a big way on the podcast. It seems silly for us to fortnightly tell you about stuff that you probably already know. But there are some things that are worth discussing here and there. One in particular that we have mixed views on is the Star Wars
console.
Kinect Xbox pack thing that they've just announced, which is it's all right. I think overall it's been positive, isn't it? Or is it not?
I had a customer today who was literally creaming his pants trying to pre-order.
Well, but that's Star Wars. Isn't it?
He was like, "Oh, Star Wars, got to have it."
So it's an R2D2 themed slim Xbox 360, 320 gig hard drives, like the Gears one, I suppose. With R2 noises.
Yeah.
Man, when are they going to let us set the noises that the machine makes? Obviously that function exists, yeah? Why can't I choose what noise my Xbox makes when I turn it on?
Why can't you record your own?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Why can't
What would you
why can't
say?
feed me games?
What was yours been?
I never go, hi Mike.
Just my mic.
What would you like to play today? You know? Good morning, Mr. Rodman.
That would be better.
Something like that. Or have it just say stuff back. Like I just go Xbox Kinect, and it just goes Mike play. Don't talk to me like that. How dare you?
Use a controller, you're late.
Say please. What's wrong with you?
Nice, yeah. So this makes little, tweety R2D2 noises. And it looks, it looks pretty cool. It comes with a white sensor. It's a gimmick, isn't it? Because the machine is R2D2 and the controller is C3PO. So it's got a gold metallic controller, which pretty much looks horrendous. Although nice touch with his sort of gut wires.
Yeah, you like that, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought it was...
the controller I could take or leave. If someone gave me one, I wouldn't punch them in the face. I would just kind of put it on the side and go, yeah, thanks. The console, I think, is awesome.
Do you?
Personally, I think the console looks...
Even though it's upside down?
Yeah,
Even though it's upside down after. Even though. And the noises, they wouldn't jar me too much. The Halo one, the noises are quite irritating.
Yeah, I'm not even on the Slim, even on my Darth Vader Slim that I've got at the moment, I'm not overly keen with the noises it makes.
The Kinect sensor in white just looks horrific.
No, I love that.
If you smoke, that thing is going to be orange within a month.
No, but we're not promoting smoking.
But the other thing is also, it won't go with your TV. Who has a white TV?
Yeah, but this is the other thing. This is where we differ a little bit because you love the Gears of War console. Or you like the look of it.
Yeah, it's all right.
And I all of these things, I think, yeah, okay, they're kind of nice, but I don't want any of them under my TV at all. It'd be weird to have an R2D2 underneath my... I just don't want that. No, I quite like, it's a good point. I like the fact that everything's kind of black and gloss, and that's kind of it. But, people will
they'll pre-order it, they'll buy it.
Pricey.
What is it? $370, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's that in comparison to what things normally are? What's the Gears one?
Well, the Gears one is
$270.
$270, and obviously
Wow.
that's two controllers, the game, the console.
And it's also 320 gig, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose this comes with Kinect as well.
Yeah, but it's only one controller from what I've gathered.
Yeah, I think so.
That's because you
C3PO
are the controller.
So that's the other one, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it like a little photo?
That's it.
Awesome.
So yeah, it seems.
And obviously it's bundled with Star Wars Kinect.
I feel it's about 30 quid too much.
I'm always amazed when I see this stuff online. The amount of people that go, "Yep, getting one," and you think you've got one. Well, why are you buying another 360? Just because and it works, totally works.
Oh yeah.
And obviously Star Wars fans.
Yeah, people come in trading their consoles, upgrade.
It's mental. It is mental.
And it's going to cost them. You got to realise the 250 gig would trade with us. You'd have to pay about $190, maybe even more, on top of getting rid of your Slim. Because the Gears one, it's like $150 if you get rid of your Slim, and that's 150 quid for a different looking console with an extra controller.
Exactly, you're not getting anything new out of this experience. I suppose if you haven't got a Kinect, then and you're looking to get into it, you could maybe justify a little bit more. But really, you're just replacing the thing you've already got with the same thing with a different paint job.
Yeah.
So, all right, fine. What else is there? There's some Halo anniversary DLC that we should probably mention because we're all Halo fans. Bobblehead, Master Chief.
Yeah.
It
looks quite cool. I want one.
Well, it's Avatar thing.
Yeah, I was going to say bobblehead. I was like, that would be awesome.
They look bobblehead, don't they?
They do, because his helmet's on the side.
He's got a massive helmet.
So, it's weird that they haven't, to this point, put out a Master Chief. Does anyone
Maybe
realise?
that's why. Maybe that's why they've always said, right, that's what we want.
You just kind of presume it's always been there. It's like, no, it's not there yet.
Yeah.
So that's there. And a new skull.
Yeah, it's Grunt Funeral.
Grunt Funeral.
It's pretty much you kill a grunt and he explodes, and then if anyone's around him, they also explode.
See, when the video they put out that showed that, I just kind of wasn't that fussed about it.
It was rubbish.
It was like, this isn't...
There's no point.
No, just exploding guns. That's not going to...
Especially for an exclusive, it's just like, well,
So, yeah,
no one's going to
thing.
pre-order it for that.
No, exactly.
You know
It
what I
doesn't
mean?
seem like a weird thing.
You know,
Because if you're a big Halo fan and you're big into all that stuff, then I don't think you're going to be fazed by it because you're just thinking, well, it's going to change
and you probably won't
break
use
the
it.
game a
Yeah,
little bit.
you won't use it.
And if you're not a Halo fan and you don't know anything about that ain't going to draw anyone.
No, that's going to put you off straight away.
What are you
It's
talking
like,
about?
why are these little things just going mental?
You know, grunt funerals and explode. Like, what? Why don't they normally explode? It's just weird. But, you know, maybe I'll pre-order it just to get these goodies just for
Well, I'd want the Avatar costume if you're working on a female one.
Oh.
That old chestnut.
Shouldn't do.
It probably won't.
Yeah, that's that. They got to sort that out.
If they give us a Cortana one instead, I'll be quite happy with that.
Yeah, there's not been a Cortana one either,
No.
has there? I suppose that's because that's a Nikki Avatar.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Digital boobs. More
measure.
sort of other stuff. And we talked about some sort of DLC and some of arcade, but Kinect Fruit Ninja. Is it Kinect Fruit Ninja?
Yeah.
I think it's the last game to come out, isn't it? It's Fruit Ninja.
I'm pretty sure Toy Soldiers
All
is the
right,
last one.
whatever, man. But it's Fruit Ninja on Kinect. You know, it's the iPad and iPhone game on there. But interestingly, Gunstringer, which is the retail Kinect game, is the curveball of Microsoft going, we need some more retail. Okay, it's Kinect. So that's an XBLA game that's jumped to retail. Comes with a download code for Fruit Ninja, which is cool.
It sort of softens the blow,
But,
really.
yeah, and I think Gunstringer's cheaper anyway.
I'm sure it's going to be about.
But how does that work? Because the whole premise of buy all of Summer of Arcade and you get something for free.
But you might not.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is you get for free.
It's like
get another arcade game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will that affect it? Because you're not technically.
Because you're not
buying
purchasing
it.
Fruit Ninja.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It depends when it comes out, I suppose.
Well, that is the other thing, because that made me think,
There's
well, is
gotta be a
Gunstringer out then really soon? Is within like the next 4 weeks?
It's possible. I
The
don't know.
achievements haven't gone up yet, so I can't see it being
No.
that close. I mean, things like the Toy Soldier ones, they've been up for a couple of weeks now.
Right.
So, I don't know, maybe September,
I'm
October.
quite interested in Gunstringer as a game.
It looks interesting. Whether
Twisted
I'll
Pixel
actually
again,
get
isn't it?
it.
It's
I might.
Splosion Man, guys.
I'll have to test the download, the demo basically.
It's touted as one of the Kinect games that you can sit down and play.
Yeah, there's not
always big
many.
news.
It is a bonus.
Couldn't do it with Child of Eden.
No.
It just doesn't recognise where your hands are. It's like you haven't got hands.
Yeah, what are you doing here? What are you doing here?
You need to stand up or just forget it.
You just brought stumps to a hand party.
Or just pick up your joypad.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean that's about it. I think really, and stuff that I've got news-wise that I can think of. Is there anything else that you think's worth?
I think we should mention.
Whoa, hang on.
Sorry, what happened?
We missed out a game, didn't we?
What was that?
The Call.
Ah, yes. You did jump to news before.
That
Yeah.
actually wasn't what I listened to,
No,
by the way.
right. So back up.
Good
Back
list. I
up.
like your list. It's
In
helpful.
a minute, we're going to get some exclusive bonus Call of Juarez chat. But what were you lipping at me?
Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, that's
Freddy
what I was
Krueger.
that's what I
Freddy-
said.
Freddy
I
Krueger.
think a special mention has to go to old friend Freddy.
Yeah. Oh, so actually, that's the thing I was playing. I played a lot more Kombat recently, and I've tried out all the DLC characters.
Oh, really?
And can I just say, they are awesome. Like Scarlet, best character in the game by a mile, but also Scarlet and Rain are massively overpowered. Yeah, they are
Nice.
clearly the best
I
characters
like
in the game. They've got cool moves like Rain does a move where it's got a projectile attack that encapsulates your enemy in a bubble, and then you can control the bubble so you can bring it towards you, hover above you, and then they both have it and you uppercut them and stuff. And Scarlet's got, they've all got, you know, like in Mortal Kombat, anyone with kind of a teleport attack kind of beats anyone.
Yeah.
You know, they've both got those. Kenshi, a little bit weak, although he has an awesome finishing move, awesome fatality, where, because everything's telekinesis with him, he grabs you with his mind and he slams you into the camera.
Right.
And so he breaks the screen as his body comes up, and then he does it like 3 times, and then you just hear a slice, and it just peels apart. And there's like an eye on the glass that slows down. That is quite cool. Scarlet, though, has an amazing fatality, where amazingly sort of over-sexualized fatality, right? Where she's got like little blade things, where she sticks one in the side of the guy's head, and then with the other one slits his throat. Okay, and then she pulls the head back and just sort of rains blood over her face and tits.
Fantastic.
And it's just like,
It's the money shot.
Yeah, exactly. But that's entirely what they've gone for with it, you know.
Sure.
But she's quite cool. So they've announced the last piece now as Freddy Krueger, bloody Freddy Krueger.
And it's exclusive to 360, isn't it?
Oh, is it really?
It's the counterbalance to Kratos, Kronos.
Kratos.
Yeah.
Kratos, you
Yeah.
can.
Oh, okay, I didn't realise it was
Yeah.
exclusive. That's interesting.
Yeah. Also, they obviously rejected Michael Myers from Halloween and Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, which is like, why didn't they just do a triple pack?
I suppose, but then if they were looking at balancing it, you know, and evening out the PS3 and the 361, then maybe. But also, I mean, Freddy Krueger to me is more suited for it, just because of his blades on his fingers. Whereas,
I suppose it's not as
they're just kind of more normal guys.
Yeah.
He's got more. He seems more Mortal Kombat in that fact. He's a little bit weird
supernatural.
already.
Yeah,
he's got some wicked moves. Though.
Yeah.
You were saying earlier, his fatality.
He just pretty much. I think he just slices them up, put them straight for his chest, and throws them into a massive furnace, and then sort of just laughs at them.
Which is pretty cool. In fact, I think what he does while they're burning as well, he shuts the door of the furnace and it chops off their arm.
Oh and then the arm falls out.
And he's got another one as well. He's got the kind of Johnny Depp in a bed blood fountain thing, hasn't he? It's sad there's not a bed. I wish a bed kind of appeared, but he kind of just pulls the character down through into like hell or whatever, and then just a massive blood fountain comes out. That's all right. I think it's quite cool.
Yeah,
bit of Freddy. Yeah. You know?
It'll make me go back to it just to play it.
Yeah, I'm playing a lot and I've been
really
quite enjoying
get
it.
the points in ready.
The new characters are well worth picking up. Scarlet in particular, for the money shot. So, all right. Well, so before we cut off, then we were going to talk about this next week, but actually we've got such differing opinions on it, and to the point of where Sean and I are no longer going to play this game because it's offended us so much.
Okay.
But Cheryl, you quite liked it. Call of Juarez, the Cartel.
Yeah. It does shame me. I did go into it thinking it's going to be crap. I'm going to be on it for 10 minutes and then just cry. But it's not too bad. It's not brilliant. Obviously, it's just shaky all over. But there's bits in it that makes you go, actually, that was really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's some interesting ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting idea from the start, anyway, to bring it up to modern times.
Yeah.
You know, well,
after it being a Western.
two things: either an interesting idea or just a shameless sort of, Modern Warfare was successful. Like, are people still doing modern counterpoints to the games?
To be honest, though, it's not Modern Warfare in any way.
No, it's just a modern
the premise. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, you guys, how long did you play it? About 20
I've never played a game before in my life that has made me want to take it out of my Xbox so quickly than that. I played 2 levels and then went, I'd never want to put that in there.
I don't think I got through the second level. I was wandering through the big field going, I can't see any goddamn enemies, but I seem to be getting shot a lot. Yeah. And dying repeatedly with flipping a Barack Obama standing next to me.
Oh yeah, because the dude, you're one of your teammates is wearing the freakiest
I would
Obama
just
mask.
say, at that point, I turned around and saw it and went, what the hell is going on? And then I realised, it's a mask. I thought it was just like, the facial recognition just went, no, fuck it, I'm going to make it go crazy and just go like
it's terrifying.
It's crazy. But, yeah, I must admit, the first couple of levels are just terrible. It doesn't drag you in at all.
No.
It's the first cutscene started, they were talking about Interpol and FBI. And I was like, I don't give a shit.
Skipped all that. And that's probably where I've been more into it. Because I've just gone, I don't give a shit about the story, I just want to play.
Yeah.
Like I said, the driving scenes are pretty cool.
Yeah, so I mean, it's quite interesting, and it starts off with the driving scene, almost like the darkness.
Which you actually go back to, which is quite bizarre.
Yeah, where you're not driving, but you lean out the window and you're shooting out there, and it is quite cool. I thought it was alright.
But the only thing is, I've gone as the female character. I can't remember her name.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not really.
So you got a choice of 3, haven't you? As you go in, but you were saying no difference for any of them, or different sort of mini objectives.
Obviously the mini objectives are a little bit different, but it's still the same premise. You've got to pick up a special item or do something without your partner seeing you. With the female as well, you are the driver instead of the person leaning out the car. Okay. 9 times out of 10, I think only once have I had to shoot.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not bad. It's very Vaseline-y, visual-wise. Sketchy.
For me, there was 2 things. One, I thought overall. I mean, I didn't really play much to get absorbed into the story anyway, but I thought overall it felt a bit cheap. It's Techland. They don't do great stuff. They're doing Dead Island, obviously.
That's what I mean.
It seemed like aiming and stuff seemed a little bit floaty, and it all just seemed a little bit light. But also on top of that, I just had so many bugs. You know, I had issues where every time it started a level for me, my character was spinning around, looking up at the sky, firing his left gun, and I was like, it's not. I thought it was my pad. But then I was like, this isn't my pad. This is just... So every level started with me with no weapons, having... It was just like someone had put a blindfold on me and span me round and gone, well, do what you want. And it's like, well, thanks. That's not ruined it. But it does interesting stuff. Every level has a lobby, doesn't it? Like,
it has a lobby.
Drop in, drop out co-op stuff.
And then you pick out your weapon loadout.
Yeah.
There's a few bits about it that... just like they could have done it a lot better. There's no real cover system. It is just literally crouch behind something. Although there is a lot of sequences in the game where it says, we'll cover you with fire. You need to go and hide somewhere and run around to flank them. And it's like, it's just not, doesn't feel like it. It's just like, well, I'm running and hiding behind a bin, hiding behind another bin. And half of them are either already dead or you're just standing next to them.
Yeah.
And it's just like...
What's the deal then with the sort of like mini objective stuff? Because you said you've got things where you have to do stuff without your other teammates seeing?
Yeah, it's pretty much picking up special items, just like rare guns for a dealer. Just objectives saying, right, I don't want them to know about it, but I want you to take out their radio. Things like that. And all you've got to make sure is on your radar you've got your character and they just have a normal radar.
Yeah. Like
looking with you. Yeah.
Okay.
As long as they're not near you, pick it up, you rank up via that. But that's the only way you rank up, which is a little bit weird.
And do they do it as well? So is it like, because you're essentially being a dirty cop, aren't you? Is it a case of anyone can get these, but you've got to get... or you've got to get different ones for different characters?
On single player, they don't do anything.
Right.
They're not picking anything up. You can't catch them doing anything. They can only catch you. Whereas in multiplayer, you all get your own objectives. And your idea is, if you know what they're doing, you need to be watching them constantly.
Yeah.
So they can't
I quite
do
like
it.
that.
But the thing is, if you play for it once, you know where the objectives are. So it's like, I'm going to sit there and just not let them do it.
And you're not going for the same ones in multiplayer? See, that's a shame, because I like the idea of them being sort of hidden around the environments, and you've got to look out for them, and then if you see one, you kind of need to not let anyone else know that it's there.
They come up on your HUD, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they come up as a little eye, and it says, well, you need to go over there and pick it up.
Yeah.
But it's only if you're in a close-ish proximity to them.
Okay.
But I played a bit of online, which was pretty much search and destroy. It was alright, very flaky. It's really strange as well that you can't run around and do it on your own. You can't be in a team and then run off and sit somewhere and shoot people. You need to be in pairs. If you stay in pairs, like you pick someone at the beginning and you go, right, you're my pair, then you're like twice as strong.
Okay.
As well, which is quite bizarre. So, like, you can take twice the amount of bullets if you're in a close proximity with your partner, which is a good idea unless you've got a partner who's a complete twat and just runs off.
It's a weird thing. I mean, how does that get explained in terms of anything real?
No, exactly. But it's just like your opponent glows in green. Oh, your opponent.
What? They glow in green as well?
Well, there's a green film around them where they're going natural partner.
Right. Okay.
But like I said, like my first partner, he just started running around and getting killed. So I was like,
It's not
working well.
All of this is interesting stuff. They've been, you give them credit, they've been brave enough to try some different stuff. We thought this game would be exactly that sort of bubblegum game of don't really care, just blast through it and it'll be alright. You give them credit for that, but it's weird in the by your powers combined thing.
It's quite bizarre. But like overall, it's an okay game. There is a couple of really good scenes. Like there's one where you're going into an old ghost town which takes you into the Wild West, but you're still the same people, and it feels a little bit weird.
Oh, okay.
Because you're modern day, you've got all this stuff, and then there's Wild West music, and there's a burnt down saloon and shit.
Throwback, isn't it? To like old Juarez and stuff.
It doesn't connect at all. And you're like, well, this just feels weird because I should be having like.
Because aren't you a descendant of the guy?
Yeah.
From
one of them is,
or something.
And is there any of the religious stuff that was in it? Because when you were like a priest, or you could be a priest.
I haven't seen anything in that. I mean, this guy's the descendant is crazy. He just wants revenge and kills people a lot. Yeah, the club scene as well.
Oh yeah, you said about this. You like this. Club scenes in games are always great. Kane and Lynch had a really good one.
Yeah.
Even Halo Reach has a cool club scene.
Yeah.
Club scenes are normally good, but tell us about this one.
But again, it was you like walk in and like every single person on that dance floor seemed to be doing something different. There was no, like, you couldn't say, right, that section's doing the same as that section over
So the
there.
Macarena wasn't playing.
No, exactly. But that would have been quite cool.
Yeah.
But there's just like one point where you walk in and you're like, right, where's the guy gone? He's on the other side. And you just walk through and you sort of get knocked about, and that's quite cool. And then there's one bit where you burst into a room and it's a club scene again, but then it slows down and you see 3 enemies sort of glow a little bit.
Okay.
And you've got to take them out, and then everyone just ducks down. People like start screaming, running away. It's a really good scene, but that's the only good scene, isn't it?
Sure.
That's the issue, but it is a really, really good scene.
It sounds cool.
But
It does sound cool. All right. Well, that's Call of Juarez. I'm not gonna touch it.
I'm not going to lose sleep over not
I feel bad about it because I feel like I haven't given it fair.
You
use.
haven't, no.
But it just left me in such a bad place. No, I don't know. And so, I've actually swapped it for another game, which leads us on to what we'll be talking about next week. We're going to give you a little bit of a tease for next week. Not next week, next episode.
Thank you.
They know that. So we've got a few games that we're going to talk about. EDF is one of the things that we've all picked up. Earth Defense Force, Insect Armageddon. This game is great and terrible, and great and terrible. And we'll be talking about that extensively because we picked it up. Weird
We're
game.
going to have to do some multiplayer between the 3 of us.
yeah, we would have to do the 3-player
Yeah,
co-op.
definitely. It's perfect. It was made for us.
Yeah.
In fact, to the point of where one character, as you pointed out, Cheryl, is called Oldman.
Very good.
So
I
You'll
saw it and
be
went,
playing
what?
him.
yeah, so I kind of like that. So we'll be talking about that. We'll also be going on talking about a little bit about Cars 2 because that's a game that's surprisingly good.
It is.
It's what
yeah.
Call of Juarez turned into for me. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and obviously as well on next week's XBLA Summer of Arcade release is From Dust,
Thank God.
which we are very excited about indeed.
We used to be very excited about it. I'm hesitant.
It looks
You're
so
just
awesome,
an idiot,
man.
that's why.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Ignorant.
we will see.
That's ignorant.
All right. Well, on that note, then we will leave you to it. A bumper episodes, like an hour and a half of our joy.
Ramblings.
But there you go. As always, subscribe to us on iTunes. Do rate us if you can, or give us a little bit of feedback. We always like that. If you need to get in contact, you can contact us at thingsweplay@gmail.com. We are accepting emails. We won't reply, but we might.
Or we may.
We might mention you.
Might read
we might mention you in a podcast. Yeah. And also, you can find us on Twitter at thingsweplay or on our individual accounts, which you'll be able to find via that. That's about it, I think. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
That's the Daniel.
She turned off the mic.